Can I have your attention, please? Calling all new moms, seasoned moms, soon-to-be moms, and all you mamas in between.
Welcome to the MomFriends podcast.
Hi, Mom Friends. Happy Monday. Welcome back. I wanted to do a little pre-chat with you before this week's episode because it is a little bit heavier than normal, and check in with yourself before listening to make sure you're comfortable. And if you're at all triggered by discussions around depression, suicide, homelessness, drug abuse, and several other things pertaining to those conversations, this episode might not be for you, and that's okay. I want you and your mental health to be more important than the podcast. But I just want to give a little bit of a warning. Ruth's story is intense at times, and she's been through a lot. So let's give her grace, give yourself grace, and let's chat together. Ruth Pritchard, welcome to MomFriends.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here, and I'm really excited to chat with you today. So,
me too.
Thanks
I'm
for
really
coming.
excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So usually I just start everyone with like how you became a mom or who makes you a mom. So how many kids do you have? How old are they? And then if you're comfortable sharing their name, then do that.
Yeah. So I have one. Her name is Charlotte, and she is 4. And she's my little angel. She has my heart.
I just met her, and she's literally the cutest thing ever.
You haven't met the sassy part yet. She's very sassy.
She's not comfortable yet, I guess.
Yeah, it'll come.
Fair enough. Mine's already starting, and he's like not even talking. He'll just be like, the only word he knows is no. So every question, no. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you're me then.
Yeah. We're at the why.
Oh.
Why?
You're like, because.
Just because I've run out of things to say.
Right.
Now we're at just because I said so.
You tried.
Yeah.
So let's start kind of like more at the beginning of your, I guess, journey. You gave me the Spark Note. So it was before you had Charlotte. Mm-hmm. I think maybe a little background kind of pre-stuff into where you're at now. It was, I think you mentioned just after high school, your life just kind of took a little bit of a 180.
A little bit of a 180 for sure. Yes,
so let's start there. Kind of what scene were you in and what was going on at that time for you?
Well, it was scary.
Okay.
It was scary if to look back at it now. There was a lot wrong. In my home life, in my own mental health life.
Okay.
The friend group I chose led me to a path that was drug-ridden and homelessness and some scary mental health as well for me and for my mom, who I was living with at the time.
So at the time, it was just you and your mom?
Yes,
living
always
together?
Always
your
just
whole life.
me and my mom. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that kind of sets a different precedent for a life too, right?
Yes.
Because without siblings and other role models and things in your life. So after high school, okay, it took kind of that turn. So you started living with your mom.
Yes. So even a little further back,
Sure.
I was born in Toronto.
Oh,
and
okay.
we moved here the summer of 2009. So
And how old were you?
13,
Okay.
I think. It was the summer before the tornado of Goderich.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was our welcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was,
so we're like trauma from the get-go. Let's go, baby.
Off the hop, we're there. So that
boy.
was fun.
Yeah.
And so then a few years after living here, then that's when things went downhill a bit more.
Okay.
And so it was just me and my mom moved from Toronto. We stayed with my grandparents for a little bit in St. Mary's, came up here, did the high school, and then I found some friends. At the time we say friends, now we just say acquaintances,
People.
maybe yeah. People in the past.
Sure.
And yeah, it just with what life was at home, I didn't feel like there was much of a future for me. And high school was rough. Educationally, I learning disabilities, bullying,
Oh my
all those
gosh.
fun things that you go through.
So if you have a checklist, you're checking every single box. It's quite the upbringing.
Yeah. Yeah. So after, just going through a mess of high school, I said no to college pretty much. I said, I'm not going there.
Yeah. It's too much.
Didn't want to go where I went, but that's where I went. And it was just a lot of living in my car, just hanging out with friends, not having a job, nothing solid.
Right.
I would try for a few weeks here and there maybe, but with not having a home, you miss out on a lot of those, resting, having a shower, getting your food, mentally preparing yourself for the work day, and
right.
all those things. So it wasn't something that was stable.
Right.
Like I wasn't stable. That wasn't stable. So that did not help.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you mind if we kind of go to how you transitioned from, living with your mom to your car?
Yeah, I pretty much...
You just bailed?
I just bailed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Bailed. Well, home wasn't good. My mom, at this point, mental health was very severe. And so it was not a secure place for me to live. I mean, obviously, living in my car was not secure either, but...
It depends on, what kind of secure you're looking for, right?
It seemed a little better at the time.
Yeah.
What I thought is I had some good friends that I could lean on for support.
They helped you lean on something else.
So, yeah.
So you're in your car.
I'm in my car.
And what are you doing?
Not a lot.
No.
I'm spending my days just hanging around with friends, doing some drugs, driving friends to go get drugs.
Okay.
Driving friends to places to do drugs.
Okay.
A lot of...
So that was kind of the crowd
not,
that you were in.
Yeah,
and,
just
and
nothing good. No secure anything,
right.
really, at that point.
They're not helping you.
And a lot of them were in that life, too.
Right.
We were all it was kind of a group of us in just not good home lives, just don't know where to go.
Right.
Just don't know what to do.
And what kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of drug situation were you involved with?
It went from cocaine to Molly, mushrooms, ecstasy.
Right. It's almost like anything you get your hands on.
Anything I can get my hands on, but not needles.
Okay.
Like I would never, I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's gross. But I did other things that are some people consider gross too.
Right.
So, but
sure.
I
you had a line for yourself, and you're like, as much as this isn't great, I'm not going to cross that line over there.
Yeah, I had that line, but so it was mainly just those like things that I could snort up my nose or put onto some weed and smoke it like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So anything to kind of help you escape the reality.
Anything to escape. Absolutely anything to escape reality.
And
reality was not
how many
good.
years was that going on for?
Solid 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So while like a lot of your peers were left high school and maybe did 4 years in university or something.
Mm-hmm. A lot of my friends, a lot of people that I went to high school with, they were off going to college and going to university and, getting degrees and starting a life, getting a house and their families situated.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck in little old Goderich in my little car, my little 2-door Hyundai.
No.
Yeah,
2 doors.
Smallest possible car you could be stuck in to be
no.
homeless in. So
even through the winter and everything, like did you
through winter, through summer, through
Wow.
spring, through fall, through it
Wow.
all. So again, some of those peers, I was lucky in the winter. I would be able to couch surf for a bit, or
Sure.
some of them had some insulated sheds that they would go out and hang out with, and I could pass out for a little bit, or.
Yeah.
Things
you
like
did
that.
like kind of what you
just
could
whatever
at the
I
time,
could, yeah.
for
However I
sure.
could survive.
So I can imagine mentally, like you were probably in a very dark place,
Very dark place.
if that's safe to assume. Yeah.
Suicide attempt has been a thing
Okay.
in my life. I didn't mention that to you before, I don't think, but
No, but that's
No,
okay. I'm not
just
here
one.
to judge you.
just once.
Yeah. And thank God it didn't work.
Thank God it didn't work. Thank God I'm still alive. Again, because that life, it was so scary. There was so many times like I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't have made it through.
Wow.
Whether it was car crashes, possible car crashes, overdosing, just being in situations where other people have weapons on them that should not be around. Lots of those things. Winter.
Yeah. And like, obviously it's scary for a lot of people, but especially being a young, beautiful girl, that can also put you in, sticky situations.
Being a little white girl from the city, living in
Yeah.
a pretty secluded, like just me and my mom. I wasn't,
didn't have other family
I didn't
here.
I have other family, but not like right in, my home, like my mom and my dad. Like it was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's so many things that came with it. Yeah.
That made it difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
for
a lot
sure.
of scary moments.
Absolutely.
A lot of
And, like,
terrifying experiences.
Yeah, sounding like, you mentioned like car crashes and overdoses and stuff like that. Like, were you in and out of the hospital then? Or did you kind of deal with that on your own?
Yeah. Just kind of deal with it on my own.
Wow.
At that point, you don't want...
Help.
It's scarier to go into those facilities to get help.
Okay. Was that from
One,
experience?
Yeah.
Experience.
One, you might not come back out because they might keep
Form
you
you or
there
something.
Yeah. And that's obviously not something you want when you are addicted to drugs and they want to keep you away from the drugs.
Absolutely. Especially if you're not in a point where you're ready to move on from that. Because I know, from different people I've talked to in the past that like nobody can tell you when to get clean. It's like that
You have to
come
yourself.
to that on your own, no matter how much your loved ones want to help you and like do all these things. So I can only imagine.
And I had lots of that, lots of family trying to help me and not wanting this life for me. But it was not until like the last year and a half of that life that I spent that time going through repetitive withdrawals and trying to come clean and, trying to mentally
Cleanse
and drain all of that stuff and get away from those people, which again is hard when you don't have that stable home to go to.
Right.
At this point, my mom is now schizophrenic. She's seeing things, she's hearing things, she's throwing things in the house, she's acting out, and
Okay. And that wasn't originally, like she kind of had come into that.
it slowly went down.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
just kind of kept progressing.
Yeah.
And that's
As the
scary,
years- yeah.
especially if like you didn't have a diagnosis or something, or you're young still and you're going through your own and you're looking at her like, I don't even know what this is. Why are you scaring me? Why is this happening?
And having other family members feeding you information and drama from when my mom was my age doesn't help.
No.
Because then you're like, well, is she the same person now, or is she actually grown up and now has mental like this is something else?
Wow.
You don't know.
Right. Oh my gosh, your poor little mind.
It's just
like,
in the last year that we actually have had an official diagnosis for her.
just in the last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time to not know and to go through like ups and downs, and she probably had good periods.
Oh,
I know
absolutely.
sometimes that
Absolutely, and that's the worst because you think,
you get
they're
hopeful.
better. They're turning a corner.
Yeah.
And then she ends up on the highway in her pajamas in the middle of the night,
Oh my gosh.
walking to
Who
Exeter.
knows? So you both had moments where it's like you probably shouldn't be here in
Yeah,
terms of like,
for sure.
not that you don't deserve to, but like in
Yes,
terms of
for sure. No, yes.
situations that you're in, right?
Yes.
How do you feel now? I mean, we'll keep going, but how do you feel now, like knowing you both have gone through that and you're like do you feel, I'm sure you feel absolutely blessed to be here now, be
For sure.
clean, be able to talk about it.
Absolutely.
But does it ever still, like, does the trauma hit you from all of those years?
Oh, for
still?
sure. Yeah, something will happen in my, like, a significant moment will happen, or, you know, something will happen with a friend, or I have a friend pass away. There's been a few of those in the last few years.
Yeah.
And those usually are like
Triggers.
send me back, and I'm like, whoa. I made it, but they didn't.
Ooh.
You know?
Almost like survivor's guilt.
Yeah, and a lot of times recently it's a cancer, or it's a disease that's not given, like they didn't do it to themselves.
Right.
I chose to do that to my body. I chose to put myself through those torments and that struggle.
To an extent.
Why should I be the one that survived?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a tough one.
But then I look at my daughter.
Yeah.
And it all changes.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all changes.
Wow.
That was a tough one. Charlotte's, the pregnancy.
Yeah.
That was...
So let's transition into that. So you're in this, cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And were you in your car, living in your car when you found out you were pregnant?
I was in my car in Clinton, and so this was a turning point in a few ways.
Okay.
One, I had just gotten a job. So I had just managed to get a nighttime position at the Tim Hortons in Clinton.
Amazing.
And along with that, I had managed to secure a place to live. That was not my car.
Okay.
And that was with Charlotte's dad.
Okay.
So with those two things, I thought, okay, maybe I can get somewhere. You know, I was still in
deep.
The shits, in the deep. I don't know if I can swear on here.
You can swear.
Okay.
I swear all the time.
Yeah. Okay. We're still in the deep. But there's some flips happening. So, I'm working nights. So I'm doing my training. I pass out.
On
shift.
On shift. And you're just starting this job.
Just started my job.
Oh gosh.
First day in.
No.
First night in. Pass out. Yay. So I go to my coworker sends me off to the hospital. They do their testing. The nurse comes back and asks me some questions. She asked me if I'm stable, if I'm if I'm secure, basically. Yeah. I straight up lied. Yes, I'm great. I have a job at Tim Hortons. Wasn't a lie completely.
Totally, no.
You know, I did have somewhere to live.
Yeah.
So, okay, great. You're 3 months pregnant.
Oh
is right.
And you had no idea.
No idea.
Okay.
No idea.
Wow. Okay. And so it begins.
So it begins. We're in it. There's no going back.
3 months
We're
is
done.
long. Yeah.
This is happening. It's happening.
Wow.
Whether I was
Do you remember
2
that
weeks or
moment?
not. To this day, I'm sitting there alone.
What's going through your...
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck do I do?
Oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
Who do I tell?
And her...
How do I get...
Were you with her? You were with her dad at the time?
So that's a messy situation as well. So
Fair
we
enough.
were very on and off. Both in our messy lives of just drugs and not really giving a shit. You know, like just doing our thing.
Almost
just
like
floating through life. Floating through life, really, at this point. So yeah, I go back and I just tell him. Said, hey.
By the way.
So this is what's up.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. We just kind of took it in.
Yeah.
Kind of scared us both. I think we were both like panicked and wanting to turn and run
For sure.
as fast as we could.
Especially like you're in a spot in life where you're not expecting it or trying for it or prepared for it in any way.
At all.
Right.
Not at all. Not what I
So
wanted.
he probably had a not the most
I think
excited
we both had
reaction
the same
at
reaction
first.
at first, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, just panic.
Yeah, it's the best way to describe
Scared,
it. Yeah.
Panicked. Yeah. So at that point, I'm thinking I need to secure myself. I need to secure a house or an apartment. I need to secure some sort of clean living space.
Right.
Those were my main priorities at that point.
Yeah. It's like the first way to get the ball rolling. Of
Yeah,
like,
well, and that's, you know, my
now I
mind's
have
just
somebody
rolling
else.
and rolling and rolling. I'm 3 months pregnant on drugs.
right.
Completely have been doing like everything for the whole 3 months.
Right.
Like no clue, right? So
And that's another level of like, well,
now
what
I'm
did this
did I just screw my baby up? Did I screw my whole, like everything? Like I just, you know.
For sure. I can't imagine.
Panicked.
Yeah.
Panicked. Somewhere along the lines, I bulked up and I went home.
Okay.
And I went home to my mom. I didn't tell her what. I didn't tell her why. I didn't tell her why I was coming or when or anything.
You showed up?
I just showed up. I said, Mom, we need to talk. And I want to throw up.
Yeah. From more ways than
Throw
one.
up so bad.
Oh my
In more
gosh.
ways than one.
Yeah.
But this moment changed a lot. It changed how I felt, how I had felt about my mom
Okay.
in the last few years, and how I had, and I hate it, but I hated her at that time in my life.
Yeah.
But she was my biggest supporter, of course. She took me in, like, full bear hug, let me just absolutely
Lose
lose
your
it,
mind, yeah.
right? Like, I'm shaking, I'm crying, I'm losing my breath, and
Yeah.
she's just holding me in my room, like, in my old room, like, taking me in, letting it out, breathing, petting my back, you know, like, it's okay, we're okay,
Yeah.
we're okay, you're here, you're safe, you're safe.
And thank goodness that she was able to like give you that comfort. Was that the first thing you said to her, like when you got
I just walked
there?
in and I said, I'm pregnant.
Help me.
Yeah, I'm 3 months pregnant. You know what I've been doing. You're
Now
not
what?
you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you've been trying to get me home, but I've been resisting because I can't do what I want to do in your home. But you're trying to keep me from doing it. It was a whole thing.
No,
it was
totally.
so frustrating, right? Like it's such
For
a
both of you.
mind boggle.
Yeah.
But
she
yeah,
was comforting
so
you.
that's where we're at right now
Wow.
in the story. Yeah,
Yeah. So she's there to comfort you, and
Yeah.
then what's the next step? Did you stay there?
For a little bit. And then I left.
Okay. And were you trying to get clean at this point, or
So at this point I haven't had anything. I have come,
since you found out, kind of?
It turned. Cold turkey.
Wow.
Like nothing. I didn't take anything in, which was extremely hard
For sure.
on its own, trying to come clean and also having this baby growing inside you.
Which also can make you very sick, depending on who
on
you
its
are, right?
on its own, right?
Yeah.
And then with just being in the low income situation that me and my mom were in, there wasn't not a lot of money to go around. So food
another level.
and all that stuff was another hard struggle, unfortunately, because my mom wasn't working. My mom at this point, she hadn't been working for probably 4 years.
Okay. And you just
because of
started
her
your
own
job, so
mental. Yeah, and so that didn't work out.
No.
That I stopped that right away.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're like,
I stayed at home my whole pregnancy. After Charlotte came, I left
Okay.
because things turned worse at home.
Oh man.
So the relationship between me and my mom changed because now I'm
A mom.
I'm a mom. I'm the mom of a kid, and I choose what happens. I make the decisions and the
Right.
responsibility. I'm the caregiver,
Yeah.
and that wasn't okay.
Oh, okay. So it's like more of a control thing.
So, and this is still in my head to this day. She wasn't my daughter. It wasn't my pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
It was our pregnancy. It was our baby. It was our decisions because I'm under her roof.
Oh boy. That's tricky.
So that's when I left.
Yeah. Because you're like, well, I don't
No.
have the same decisions as you.
We're not doing this.
Yeah.
We're not doing this again.
Yeah. Jeepers. So you left. And
Left.
so when you're at home, is her dad still, or was he like, I don't really want to be part of this?
Second
Okay.
option. He is a few years younger than me. So I think that was to play.
Sure. Yeah.
Did not have his own good life growing up. Didn't know what he was doing himself. So he tried.
Okay.
He tried. In case you watch this, he tried. I don't know who's gonna reach. No, honestly, he knows. We communicate. We communicate. He doesn't. He lives out in BC,
Okay.
so that's why I'm like, he probably won't see this. We tried for a little bit. We never lived together. We tried to co-parent, but he just didn't. His responsibilities weren't there. It wasn't.
He wasn't
It
mature
wasn't his
enough.
main priority. Was
Sure.
not to be a mom or dad at our age.
Yeah. Fair enough, I guess.
I'm accepting it now. That's fine.
Right.
At this, it's probably better that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want my daughter to have a relationship with her dad, because that's still a number one goal, is that they have some form of relationship.
For sure.
But just me and him to cohabitate and co-parent. We have different belief systems and different parenting,
Yeah.
so
It just clashed.
it would clash. And I think, it would be a lot of fighting and yelling and not how I want my daughter to live.
Yeah, no, fair
and be
enough.
raised around.
That's completely understandable. I would probably feel the exact same way, especially like, I can tell in you when you're like, that was the turning point, and especially saying like you quit cold turkey the second you knew you were like, I need to take care of this thing. I'm not as important anymore. Like there's something in me that's more important. There's something being born that's more important. And I can sense in you that like immediate instinct to protect her. And I think that's evident in how you're talking so far. And I can respect, you being like, I'm not going to take that away from her if she wants a relationship with him and if he turns it around. But for now, I'm more responsible. I've got her, and this is where we're going to go.
Yeah. I don't know if you had the same experience mentally. Like when I became pregnant and more later on in the pregnancy, I felt like my brain just changed. Like the way I thought, how I preceded things, everything. It just completely changed. And I don't, definitely don't regret that. Like that, having that change
probably
was
helped you so much.
good.
Yeah.
It made the whole reality of it easier to accept. Like I'm going through this change.
Because you're not the same person.
We can do this. Yeah, we're not the same person anymore. We are putting this in the past, and we are going to do better. We are going to break the system, break the cycle of what I grew up with and what I knew my mom grew up with.
Yeah.
And so many of us have grown up with.
For sure. There's probably so many women out there listening to this that are like, I can relate so hard.
Well, and that's what I want to do.
Not wanting to pass on the trauma, not wanting to give your child the same experiences. And it's not necessarily to the fault of like all your previous generations, because if that's only what they know, like we know that trauma and abuse, not to say put any labels on your life by any means, but that does seem to carry on in generations, right?
It can,
I respect so much women that like pull themselves out of that and they're like, I am not doing that to my kid or kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that was the main, like, I need to get out of this household.
Yeah. Fair.
We'll go back to my birthing, and then after Charlotte, I have some more stories.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know how you want to. I don't want to carry on past the birthing part.
This, yeah. Oh, yeah. We definitely don't need to skip that, because I know, because she's 4, so you definitely had her. There's a whole thing during COVID and everything with
2020,
with her,
right in the middle of the pandemic.
Okay, hit me.
Okay. So yeah, So we are in April 2020.
Wow, the thick of it.
We were in the thick of it.
Okay.
In London is where I had her.
Okay.
I birthed her in London. So, we're going the natural way.
Okay.
But I am being induced. So at this point, she would be coming 2 weeks early.
Okay.
And she's not a preemie, but just above preemie. So she's still she's very small inside me growing.
Now, sorry, were they inducing you for medical reasons?
So that's what I was.
Oh, okay.
No,
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
That's okay. That's where I was going next. Is because she was not quite a preemie, but still so small. We were concerned about her just getting all of her nutrients and being able to get to her full size. Just because of my size and where I am in life, food was not a big part of it.
Right.
So they wanted to bring her out so they could watch her weight better and watch her intake the food better, get her starting right away on feeding tube.
Okay.
Right away.
Gotcha.
They wanted her on it. So we started the induction. My induction, is that the right word?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, it sounded really weird saying it. I'm sorry.
I hate it when that happens.
Wait a minute. I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Totally fine, I promise.
So because we're leaving Goderich, I'm having to stay in a hotel in London.
Oh boy.
So because of COVID, all the hospital, everything's filled up. The children's hospital is where we would have gone if it had not been COVID.
Wow.
So they have us in a hotel 5 blocks away from the hospital. So I go in and we get the balloon going. They check me out, and then they send me off.
Okay.
Send me back to the hotel, and I wait. And I
Are you
just
by
wait.
yourself?
No, so I'm with my mom. So my mom and Devin. Devin is Charlotte's dad. I should have put those pieces in before.
That's okay.
They are both coming with me to stay in London and stay at the hotel. So we're all together there. It's been a long time since I've told this story.
That's okay.
So we're in the hotel, we're waiting, and then I feel things starting to really, my contractions are getting really shortening between time. So I'm thinking, okay, we need to get back to the hospital. We're it.
Yeah.
So we get into the car and we fly down to the hospital. We get up there, we all get signed in. This is where I am now alone because they don't allow.
Right.
This is where it starts to become a lot. Yeah. So now they take me and they take me away from my mom and from Devin, and they bring me to a separate room, and they hook me up. They put belt around my tummy so they can feel the heartbeat. They have wire, the whole thing. I have the heartbeats going right beside me, which was really really beautiful to hear the heartbeat of Charlotte when she was
It's motivating.
motivating. You're like, okay, there she is. She's living. She's pumping.
Yeah.
So I'm just lying there and I'm just waiting because I'm alone. There's no doctor. There's no nurse. No mom. No Devin.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary.
So and then eventually a nurse comes in and she checks my centimeters. She checks the balloon, see how dilated I am. I'm not ready. So they send me back to the hotel.
No.
Yep. So
oh my
fly
goodness.
back to the hotel. Within, I'd say less than 45 minutes,
Okay.
I was back at the hotel. We were back in the car going back to the hospital. This is it. This is it. It has to be it.
You're like, come on.
Same thing. We get up there. We get registered. Devin and my mom stay where they are. They send me down to a room. They hook me up. The whole thing over again. They check me out. This is it. We're here.
Okay, you're staying.
So we're here. We're staying. And I'm still alone. I'm still there. The nurse is like, we're trying to get one of them in here with you. We just have to go through the process, but we're going to send you to this other room. So they've.
So sorry.
And no, it's okay. Have a sip.
Goodness, got tickled my throat.
So I'm in another room. I'm by myself again on a bed, and all there is a clock on the wall.
Oh no.
There's no machine. There's no screen. There's no window, and there's nothing.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm not sure how long I was in there. Are you okay?
Okay, I think we're good. So there's no screen. There's no machines.
So I'm just staring at the clock,
Watching
it tick.
Okay.
Watching it tick, feeling this girl getting ready to, like, she's moving. She is kicking. She is moving around.
Yeah.
She's getting ready.
Yeah.
So the doctor comes in. She's, I'm sorry, checking me out. We're still going to be a while. The doctor who's supposed to do your delivery is doing another delivery right now.
How? What?
Okay.
How are you supposed to wait?
I mean, she's
What?
coming.
What?
But I guess I'll wait.
Try.
So it wasn't that much. So it wasn't that much. It really was not that much longer. And they finally got me into the delivery room.
Are you still by yourself?
Still by myself.
Oh my gosh.
It's at night. It's like 10 at night, 9 at night maybe. We're late. And then at this point, it's the decision of, do I bring my mom in or do I bring in the dad? As we know, there's always that decision when things are in COVID, and it's always one.
Right.
It's either one or the other. So that was an extremely hard decision.
Especially
I hate
without,
to say it.
Yeah.
I regret it.
Oh, do you?
I regret it. I wanted my mom,
And
but
you
I didn't
chose
choose
Devin.
my mom. I chose Devin because I thought,
He's
this
the
is our
father.
family.
Right.
This is our family that we're going
Understandable.
to start and we're going to have for the rest of our lives, whatever. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
As we know now, that is not what happened. But
Yeah. But
So
but
he's
at
there.
the time, yeah.
he's there sleeping
Oh.
the whole time. Up until the nurse kicked him. I told him.
I'm a nurse. I would have kicked him.
Yeah, she asked. She's like, "Can I?" And I was like, "Please." Kicked him because now the bait, like, I'm pushing. So this is like he's been
He's
sleeping.
gonna
Like,
miss
so
it.
So I'm in the bed. I have everything hooked up. He's there napping.
Ish.
Yeah, he's there ish. Another reason I kind of want my mom. Because she wouldn't have slept. She would have been,
Yeah,
a mom,
yeah.
holding my hand, comforting me,
Doing her best.
doing her best.
Yeah.
So we are. Epidural is in. I'm pushing. The nurse kicks him awake, like gives him a soccer kick to the booty. And we're just yelling like, "Baby's coming, baby's coming!" Like, come on,
Like,
Dad.
hello?
Yeah. And so we're pushing.
Good Lord.
4 pounds,
Oh.
6 ounces.
Oh.
Flies out like 10, 15 minutes. Like, I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
Like,
Amazing.
water slide.
Amazing.
Done.
That's so cool for you.
Done. I was like, what? Huh?
Is it over?
So it was the quickest part. No, seriously,
That's
I was
it.
like, what? Come on. I was waiting for something. I was getting ready. I've been amping myself up for days.
Oh my God,
you know?
so many women are going to curse you.
And well, like my whole pregnancy, like Devin and his family, like the males have very big heads, large heads, and they're tall. Like they have broad shoulders. So
relatable.
I'm like, I'm in for a hell of a birth.
Sure.
No,
No.
flew out.
She's so small.
So small.
A little bean.
Yeah.
Aw.
Like just the tiniest little thing.
Yeah.
So we're done. She's in my arms. I hold her for a little bit, check her out. Happiest little thing.
Oh, you're sparkling your eyes. So sweet.
She was just an angel. She was the best thing that's ever happened. And so
Was she healthy and everything?
Yeah,
And-
she had a slight bit of jaundice, but normal. But she was healthy. Yeah, so I
Amazing.
didn't mention, yeah. So through my whole pregnancy, of course, we're checking. Like I'm telling doctor, like I'm like, we need to make sure this is okay because my history is not good.
Right.
And we went through all the tests, came back fine. Everything was positive. We were good. We were okay. Thank God. Those were
Yeah.
relief moments of
I'm doing the
waves
right
of
thing.
like, oh
Thank
my
goodness.
God,
Yeah.
thank God I didn't fuck this baby up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair worry.
Whether I did or not, I would have kept her. There
course.
was never a thought in my mind of, oh my God, I'm gonna have a kid with Down syndrome and I can't do that. Never.
Right.
Never. I don't even think I did that test to see if she was or not because I didn't care.
Fair enough.
This was my this was
was
my
your
life.
angel,
This is
yeah.
what I needed to.
Right.
She saved me, and I'll save her.
Right. So she came out healthy.
Came out healthy, 4 pounds 6 ounces. Feeding tube. So 2 weeks. We were in the NICU for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Getting her onto the feeding tube, getting her weight up. Of course, so they go up and then it comes down and then it went back up again.
Yeah. So basically
feeding
kind of getting her
tube.
to like your due date almost.
Getting her, pretty much just getting as much into her as we can,
Yeah.
as much nutrients as we can. Working her off the feeding tube to work her onto either a bottle or to breastfeeding. That was a challenge of itself for me.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding was no-go.
Yeah.
My size, there was nothing there. There's nothing there for her to latch onto.
Right.
So,
And you probably weren't very like nutrient dense.
and I was
either as
not
yourself,
at all. And that,
Which plays
yes,
a role for sure.
Huge role.
Yeah.
Huge role. So we tried, and I
that's
had
all you can do.
a very good. The nurses and all the staff, the doctors in that NICU at that hospital are amazing.
Oh, I'm
they
so
are
glad.
absolutely amazing. That was one of my biggest fears, was going in as a young single mom with this history of shit and a dad that's not present. And
you
just,
can just see
everything
the
that you can see. Of
judgment
course, you
the
can always it's coming.
preconceptions
It's
and-
in your head. You're going through everything. You're like, how am I gonna
They're not gonna.
how am I
wanna
gonna
help me as
convince them that I'm
much.
okay? How am I
Yeah.
gonna reel it around to make
Sure.
But I didn't need to.
Good.
I didn't need to
I'm so
at
glad
all.
to hear that.
And thank you. Me too. It was a huge relief having them
Yeah.
all there comfort me, just so relaxed. Like, I mean, they've probably seen things way worse come through, right?
Yeah, probably.
Let's be honest.
Especially a big hospital
We
like
know.
that. Too,
And it's
right?
London Hospital, Victoria Hospital. They deal with traumas and things that
And
I could never imagine.
complications and- yeah, for sure.
So that was great. We were good there. So we got her off of the feeding tube and I started pumping.
Okay.
So we started pumping, and baby formula, we would mix them and whatever the other nutrient supplies that they had there as well. And we got her up there a little. We got her weight up,
Yeah.
and it was exhausting 2 weeks.
I don't doubt that. Because were you there the whole time?
So it
Or
was
do you have
me.
to go
Yeah.
in
So
and
that
out?
was it was me the whole time. Yes, we could have rotated, but because like between me and the dad, we could have rotated. But with me needing to pump, I can't. He can't really do that. Right. So it was
Did
me.
you stay?
I would stay during the day, and then at nighttime I would go back to a hotel.
Okay.
So at this point, the one hotel that we had, our time was up there. So because we needed to stay that extra 2 weeks in the NICU, we would have been somewhere else, if like the children's hospital, if it wasn't packed. So we were very, very blessed that the hospital paid for our hotel for the next 2 weeks. And it was only a block away.
Amazing.
So it was a lot closer, and it saved us money, of course, because at that point, I mean, I'm not working.
Yeah. You've got nothing.
I have whatever is, I haven't even, baby bonus isn't even a thing yet, right? You haven't registered for that,
yeah,
right?
She's just born, yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we were very blessed with that. So I'd go back at nighttime, and that's when I would, do my pumping and get everything prepared, and then rise and shine right back there in the morning. And just sit there with her all day, watch her and help bathe her and just learn what I can.
Yeah. Did you know her name right away?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, she was Charlotte right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that one. I knew that one right away.
Yeah. Did you know she was a girl?
I did. Yes,
you?
I did do that. I did.
I'm always curious because
I actually think that I have a situation where I could have sued a nurse.
Oh.
And I'm not sure, but you're the good person to ask.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
nurses aren't allowed to tell you the gender. That has to be the doctor, right?
the radiologist, yeah.
Yeah. So that was not the case.
Oh, was it like you weren't supposed to? You didn't want to know that moment?
They didn't ask. They just told, and it wasn't the radiologist that told me.
Oh.
And they didn't tell. They're just, and it wasn't like, oh, it's a girl. They were just like, oh, are you so excited for her?
Oh.
I guess I am now.
Oh no. Oh no.
So being young and just not knowing things and how, not fully understanding and not being prepared to say anything, or
You just kind of took
I was just like, oh, okay.
It's a girl.
I guess it's a girl. Hey, Mom. We're having a girl. Yeah, so that's how I found out. Not how I wanted to find out. I would have liked to, have like a baby shower.
Yeah,
And,
like
find a reveal, and so baby shower I also did not have because of COVID. So because of COVID, but also the weekend I was supposed to have my baby shower, I had to fly down to London to have Charlotte.
Oh, my god.
So it was not planned well, in my defense, but I was a very high risk pregnancy. I could have we could have wanted her to come earlier than 2 weeks.
Okay.
It could have been, we don't,
So they were monitoring you
we
pretty
were
close.
monitoring the whole time I was being monitored. And for all of my appointments, I was going to London for my appointments to get checked up, for my ultrasounds, for blood work, for everything.
It's a lot.
So because they just didn't have that equipment in Goderich, I guess, for that high risk pregnancy.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah. I don't think any small town hospital around here has enough.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Most people have to go to London. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So now we're 2 weeks, and we've been told we're able to go home. Like it was like 2 weeks and a few days, but so we did it. We did it. We made it. We're able to go home. So that was another like big moment.
Yeah.
Another big.
Were you like super excited, or were you like kind of nervous, or?
I was both, for sure. I mean, bringing home a newborn to any situation you're going to have your little bits of mom worries and like stress and fear. And am I going to do this right? Am I going to screw up? Is she going to, whatever. But I just do it. We just do it. We just get in the car and we go home. It's just me and my mom. So Devin had to leave. He had to go back for work, which is understandable. Yeah. It's fine. Go. There's not much you can do anyway at this point, right? Like it's only me allowed in the hospital,
Right.
And I don't know if you would sleep or not if you.
No, not really the best moral support anyway.
Yeah.
So bye.
We get home and I have 1,000,005 things that they sent me home with from the hospital. Different feeding formulas, different bottles, different this and that, and syringes and everything everything that we used in the hospital. They gave me extra of to take home, basically. You know, just
Because you couldn't just stop
up.
doing it, I guess, right?
Yeah, like they just stacked me so. Not only do I have to carry this newborn into the house after 2 weeks and a birth and all these.
Holy smokes.
So we get home and relaxed, and we just relax. Things are okay. This is where the shift of the responsibility between me and my mom changes, and it gets worse.
Right.
Her mental health starts to decrease a lot more.
And
it becomes physical.
Oh, okay.
I have an image, and I'll always have this in my head. I'm standing in the doorway of my room. So this is my room over here, and Charlotte's sleeping in her crib. And there's this hallway, and it opens up. It's like an open concept living room, kitchen, and my mom's standing there yelling at me. Well, not yelling, but stern talking. And all of a sudden, I see her hand reach over for the empty. So it was a wine bottle, but she wasn't a drinker. She used them for water.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know. She had this weird thing with glass jugs and jars that she liked to drink water out of.
Fair enough.
So an image of her grabbing it and this motion of just grabbing and ready to chuck.
Oh my gosh.
And that was when I left. That was the turning point. Not that day, because I needed to make sure I had that secure place to go.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And I was scared to leave. I didn't know what she would do. I didn't know if she was going to turn around and physically force me to stay, call the cops, call CAS.
Grab your daughter.
Take Charlotte. Say you're not taking you're not taking her out of this household.
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So, eventually I do get out. I talk to all the people that I have in my life at that point that I know I can trust, that are secure. We get out. I stay in Vanastra for a little bit with Devin.
Okay.
And mutual friends of ours that have children as well.
Okay.
So I stayed there probably for 2 months.
Okay.
And then I went to a women's shelter.
Okay.
No, I went back home because CAS did get involved.
Oh my gosh.
I'm missing things. I'm skipping.
No,
I'm trying to get
okay.
ahead so that we can almost wrap it up quickly. But so CAS did get involved.
Okay.
And it was my mom who called. Love her. So that was another step. I had to live at home during that part with CAS involved.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
I was living at home, but CAS took me out of the home and put me in a women's shelter because of the unsafe instability of the place. Like there was no way that they were going to let me and this newborn stay in this household. So that's when I ended up in the women's shelter.
And do you feel like that was like a good move?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because to me, it sounds like, okay,
The best
I would
thing.
assume that would be like a good
The
thing.
best thing.
But
After we stayed in the women's shelter a month,
Okay.
and then I found my own place. Where we are currently is the place that I found.
So
in
how old
Goddard.
is Charlotte at this point till you find your
At
current
this
place?
point, she's under 3. She's 2.5.
Okay.
2. So she's not quite not a newborn anymore. Well, no, I don't think she is. She wasn't even 2. I think she was 1.5 years. I think it was 1.5 years because
That timeline makes more sense.
yeah, it was about 1.5 years. Yeah, because she was just crawling, walking was just coming, because she
Right.
was using that little scooter thing down
Yeah.
the hall. I can see her in the women's shelter down the hall scooting this thing,
Oh
trying
my
to stumble
gosh.
and walk.
And are you getting a job
So-
kind of in that too when you're at the shelter, or are you just more focusing on her?
I'm more focused on her and finding a place.
Okay.
Because at this point, I know that I'm financially secured enough that I can get out of the women's shelter.
Okay.
And then once I find a job, we would be okay. She would be going into the daycare.
Yeah.
So that was another relief, is that she would have somewhere to go during the day, so I could do those other things, like hand out my resume, touch it up, make the phone
Wow.
calls, do the interviews, call
Right.
other places, other housing places.
Yeah.
Anything that I could think of to just move us forward, just get us out of the women's shelter.
Yeah.
And they
Holy.
were a really good help too. The staff there were really helpful, which is of course amazing.
Yeah.
They supported us, not just giving us a place to live, but they helped get diapers and the formula and get wipes for
gosh.
Charlotte
'Cause
and
that's
food. And
expensive.
yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely insane.
Like, and obviously it's like even worse now. So I can't even imagine going through that
insane.
now with the
I
prices.
could not.
But like,
I could not. I could not.
right?
It scares me. It scares me
It
to
does
think
too.
about ever being in that situation again, but with a daughter.
Or even people now, like
Yeah,
going through
anyone
this similar
going
thing.
through housing problems,
Yeah.
a shortage of money, food shortages, hydro. Hydro is crazy expensive. It just went up another $100. All of those things are wild.
Just yeah,
And such a
another
struggle.
level that you don't even need on top of everything else.
And if you're coming from a house like me where you haven't been taught those things, I didn't learn how to budget or pay bills or
Right. Adult.
in any way at all.
Like,
So
what
to
are
learn-
taxes? You know?
Yeah, like what? How do I file it? How do you do any of that? How do
Yeah.
you register your kid for school? Do
Oh
you
my
register?
gosh, for
How
real.
do you do what?
You're
any
not
of
just
it?
gonna like
How-
poof know this information.
How do I
Obviously, you
go
have
to
get it from
take
somewhere?
care? How do I work if my kid's sick? How do I pay my bills if I can't work because my kid's sick?
Right.
All of those struggles come into play, and
Yeah,
to
there's so
learn
much.
all of those while you're going through them is crazy, scary.
Yeah. Oh my God, girl.
Yeah. So
wow.
that's
So
where,
you finally
that's where
found
we
your own
are.
place, and like, that's where you are now.
Yeah, and that's where we're still at.
Good.
And
It's just you and Charlotte.
just me and Charlotte.
and you're working. She's
And
going
I'm
to
working.
daycare.
She's going to daycare.
And-
And I've never felt more secure and more stable in my life than I do now. Even though I have had, like, before I moved here, living with my mom, we had a house, we had things, we were stable, but it just wasn't.
It doesn't mean you feel comfortable.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's
Wow.
It's life changing.
Yeah.
It's life changing.
And you haven't touched anything that you used to touch since that moment?
I haven't touched a single drop.
I'm proud of you.
I've that's another one, like, knowing that was your life and you could go back to that in an instant.
Sure.
If I took one hit, sniff, whatever of anything, I would be done.
Okay.
I would be gone.
Okay.
I don't think I would come back from that.
Yeah.
I
I hear that from a lot of addicts. Yeah. It's like they can't even dabble because
I don't people in my life, I can't, like, even if you do it, you're not in my life.
You can't
talk
be around
about
it.
you're not in my life.
You got to be ruthless like that for your own sanity and your own. Yeah.
Not sorry.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Seriously.
Not
like,
sorry at all.
Absolutely power to you because
there's no
your
doubt in my
triggers.
mind that I'd be gone. I wouldn't have Charlotte. I wouldn't have my house. I would probably be homeless and dead in an instant.
Right.
So no.
Not worth it.
Absolutely not. Not
No.
even a thought.
And that's not even that's not selfish in a way that's like negatively selfish. Like that's essential to like your whole well-being and your daughter's life. And
yeah, like it's for both of us. My mental health and my physical health, I could not take it.
yeah.
Physically, I could not take it. I would be in the hospital for sure.
Yeah. And that's setting your own boundaries that are like so freaking important.
Yeah.
And there's
and I don't know where
you don't need to
Charlotte would
apologize
go.
for any of that.
I don't know where she would go, and
Yeah.
that's what scares me the most. Is because she's not going to BC to live with Devin ever.
Right.
Sorry, ever.
No.
And there's no
Jesus.
that's it.
Well, you know what?
So.
You're not going to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing the thing,
exactly.
and you know you've come so far, and that is such a powerful, story to be like. You came from the legitimate definition of the trenches, and now you're flying high with the most beautiful daughter
Thank
and
you.
beautiful life, and you're such a inspiration. Ruth.
I'm having all these things come back that I wish I had said now though too.
Oh my gosh!
Because
What?
like just the one so
Tell me.
no, we were not together when Charlotte was when she was being birthed. Like when I was in the
Born,
hospital,
yeah.
we were not together. He was with someone else at the time. So this is gonna get you. Before Charlotte, before she's even in my arms.
Oh no.
After she's out of my vagina, not even in my arms, there is a post on Facebook from this woman that he's dating. Welcome, baby Charlotte. Stepmom is so excited to meet you. We can't wait for all the adventures. We love you.
I'm out. I'm leaving.
Mic drop. Literally.
out.
Like,
Absolutely
yeah,
not.
Yeah, that was another one I wanted. That was one I
Absolutely
wanted
not.
to get to. I was just.
Oh my god.
There's a lot. Yeah, that was another one
we could
too.
be here for 6
Like,
days for
it's-
sure. But.
Yeah, we could be here forever. I mean, and another powerful. I know. Oh, I still to this. I saw her. She came into my work the other day. I saw her the other day, and I'm a supervisor at my job now, so I can't whop you. But if I see you outside,
We all have one person
catch
in
me
our
outside.
life. Like we all try and forgive and forget and let things go, but
She's
we all
one.
have one person.
She's one.
I have one person, my crazy ex roommate.
I
I'll
have
never.
two. There's two.
You can have two.
There's two,
can
but
have two.
that's two that and they're all. It's all
It's like we're like woosah, like loving life, peaceful people until
And
they
coming-
walk up
yeah.
and you're like,
Oh, it sets you. It just
does.
sends you back. I don't.
oh man,
I'm an adult. I do forgive and forget. I do move on. But there's certain things
You're
you
still
just
human.
don't fuck with. Someone's kid is one of them.
And like,
And
they're
the
not
relationship.
even like a minute old.
I don't even know who you are. We don't
never
talk.
met her?
I don't like. I know who she is, but we're not friends.
But like when
we're
she
not
was born,
mutual.
had you ever met her?
No.
And then she's like, "I'm going to be your
Hey.
stepmommy."
Yeah.
First of all, no.
Gag.
Nobody's going to be her mother but me.
Oh, well, that was another big thing. I was like, Devin, I'm like, you can go live your life. Like, if you want to have 800 girlfriends,
But
go
do not
for
bring
it.
them around my
Do
child.
not bring a single one of them around me or my kid.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I have to
Because
say.
you're not even around my kid. You don't even hang around your own kids. So why are we bringing in someone who's not going to be, you don't come into a kid's life just to leave.
Yeah.
Or knowing there's a possibility that you are going to leave.
Yeah. That's not fair to the child too,
Yeah.
right? Like, and so let's talk about Charlotte for just a minute before we kind of wrap up.
Yeah.
How have you noticed anything with her? Do you think she's been affected by all of this, or do you feel like she's a super strong little girl because she has to be because she's your kid.
Thank you.
But do you find anything like has she had any memories where she's like asked you questions, or have you seen any kind of like red flags with her or anything like that
So, no, not
Good.
really. Yeah, so she is a pretty strong girl. She understands a lot for 4. She understands a lot.
Yeah.
She knows that families are different.
Okay.
She knows that not all families have that mom and dad and a brother or a sister or what have you.
Sure.
That there are lots of families that are, and it helps that she can see it as well. Like I have a lot of other friends that are also single moms doing it themselves, so she can see that we're not the only ones, which is a
Right.
really powerful thing.
Yeah.
But no, we work together. We're a team. That's how we talk. I talk to her. It's just you and I. We're strong. We don't need Devin in our lives, like right there, right every day.
Yeah.
You know, he'll come around.
Yeah, maybe
when he
someday,
decides, and if you want to have that relationship, then you can. And
but if you don't, that's okay
it's,
too.
yeah, it's okay. I had a brief relationship after Charlotte was 3 months old.
Okay.
I forgot about that. I was dating someone for almost 2 years, briefly. And so
Briefly, but 2 years
briefly,
long.
but 2 years. I don't know why I put those 2 things together. They're not briefly, but it felt like such a short time. Like everything flies by once you have the kid. Right?
Seriously,
So I'm like,
seriously though.
it wasn't that long. Like it was long, but not that long. So anyway, so we were dating, and so it kind of took in that, like we didn't call him dad, but he took in those roles,
Sure.
right? So when me and him went our separate ways, I could see that made her sad, but not because she didn't think she didn't have her dad or a dad anymore. It was just a friend that she was like, oh, I don't see my friend anymore. Why not? And then
And she was
one day
okay.
she woke up, she's like,
Moving on.
meh, I got other friends. We're good.
You know, that's
So
a
it's-
testament to you and how you went about that, though, because, you know, I know there's some people, and no fault to them, that almost they long for that role for their child.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you're in the midst of a relationship and you don't date to think you're going to break up. So obviously you date to think this is long term. So you kind of might impose, and I've talked to people like this, right?
Yep.
Where they impose, okay, this is going to be like your stepdad
Yeah.
or whatever term you want to
Yeah.
use. Bonus dad. And then obviously, yeah, if it doesn't work out, then the kid's like, well, do I not deserve a dad? And like, you know, they can go through like almost like a grieving period or confusion of where's the dad? And if you don't use the term dad, that's a testament to you and your relationship with her, where she's like, I don't need another parent. My mom's awesome, and it's just us, and we're a team, and
Yeah.
you know, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and that says a lot about like
Well,
your
yeah, of
character and
course,
your
like,
relationship.
Of course, we wanted, like, we had the idea. We thought we wanted, and then it was just, you know,
yeah.
as I have, but it was that, again, not the same as Devin, but same as like where we were kind of on different levels of ready to parent, and how we wanted to parent style was a bit different still. And I just can't, there's some things I just can't
You can't
work with.
No, because your girl's your
know.
girl. She's number one.
Yeah, I know it's all about working together and trying to make things work when you want a relationship and you want to live with someone and have a family and marriage and all that. But
Yeah, to an extent.
I like being alone with my girl. I mean, yes, a relationship would be nice. That is for sure. I would
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
have that companionship. But at the same time,
But you're not desperate for it now.
we're good.
I love
We're
that.
fine. I got my girls. My one friend, Carly, who actually has come with me through that lifestyle of homelessness and all that. We
Sure.
have worked together through. We've both come clean. We're both
Amazing.
in management positions at our jobs.
Wow.
She's Charlotte's aunt and godmother, and it's all we need.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad
That's
you
all.
have somebody too, like that
Oh,
you
yeah.
can be with and relate to on like
She's
such a deep
my-
level. And
She's everything.
Yeah.
She's my best friend.
everyone
like
needs
my sister.
Everyone needs a good
for sure.
girlfriend.
Yeah,
A
she's
mom
a solid.
friend, right?
Yeah.
You
She's
can relate
solid.
on so many levels.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, let's do our like wrap up, my MOM rapid fire questions, my mom questions.
Go for it.
And you definitely, I'm sure, answered this one already, but the first M is, what is your most memorable moment as a parent so far, as a mom so far?
Oh,
It can be
gosh. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the first one I think of is
Yeah, for
just
sure.
is holding her in your arms for the first time, right? Just having gone through that crazy experience of growing with her, growing her in your stomach, but also growing with her, changing, and having made it through those scary moments of, oh my gosh, are we gonna make it?
Yeah.
Is she gonna be okay?
Yeah.
And
she was.
And she was. And so that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments.
That's a great
one. One of my
one. I
biggest
love
ones,
that.
yeah.
And then O is just, what's an opinion that you had, kind of about motherhood before you became a mom that totally changed after you became a mom?
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I always give my screen time example. Like, I always said I would never, ever give my kids screens. And then I had a baby and I was like, here you go.
Yeah. Screen. I think my mom never played board games with me. We were not a very big board game, card game kind of family. So that was one thing I very much indeed wanted to be with Charlotte. And I'm working on it.
4 years in and
We're
I
getting
don't
there.
own
Well, 'cause
Monopoly.
she's only just now kind of coming to the stage where she can actually sit down and focus to play the game, right? Like before, she's not goldfish, blue, green, throws that over there. Like she's not. So now we're working. Now I'm trying to put it into motion, right? Like I've been working on that, like trying to find like where in our schedule, in our afternoon or in our evenings, can we fit in a quick game of this or that or whatever have you.
Rock, paper, scissors or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Something
okay, that's
like
a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
And then the last M is just silly. So what's the most annoying thing your kid does in this stage of her life?
Probably the why.
Why? Oh, yeah,
why?
we did talk about this
earlier. You can get her to talk and talk and talk and talk. You want to know a trick? Try and get her to stop talking.
I haven't seen that yet because she got me and she was like a little shy,
she's
which
new.
is fair.
Once she's comfortable with you, she won't stop.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Sounds like the seagulls on Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Mine. Why? Mom, why? That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's up.
Fair enough. Well, I think that wraps us up, Ruth.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this conversation,
You're welcome.
and opening up about your life, because that's not an easy thing to do. And I think, we mentioned before we kind of started rolling was it could be a good relatable kind of conversation for a lot of women, but also healing for you to feel like, you know what, this is my story and I'm proud of it and I'm not ashamed of it.
I didn't cry once.
You didn't?
And I thought I was going to.
Did you?
I normally do cry when I tell the story.
Oh my gosh. Well, good
so
job.
I met another challenge. Accomplishment.
It's because I'm so funny and chill that you don't have time.
Well, it's this environment. It's great. That's exactly what you said it is.
Good. Well, I appreciate you so much and cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye, mom friends. We love you. Mwah.
Bye.
Disclaimer. In no way do the conversations on this podcast replace the advice of health professionals. We are just speaking from our own experiences and what has worked for us. So speak to your midwives, OBs, or family doctors when necessary. When listening, always remember that every mom and every child is different, and what may work for one person might not work for another. There is no one way is the right way when it comes to parenting. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of MomFriends. Please like and subscribe to us so we can grow our beautiful motherhood community together. Talk soon. Mwah.